Okay, I've got 9 o'clock. We'll call the Administration Committee meeting to order. Call the roll, please.
Good morning. Joe Baratka is excused. Paula Hodak.
Here.
Jordan Spacek is also excused. Jeff Ulrich.
Here.
And Dennis Warko.
Here.
Thank you.
Public comment? There's no one in the gallery. Is there anyone online? Well, there's a whole bunch of people online.
I'll turn my sound up.
Okay, hearing none, we'll move on. Is there any communications amongst committee members? Hearing none, we have the minutes from May the 12th. What's your pleasure on the minutes?
I'll make a motion to approve, accept them.
I will second that.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried. Employee status update. Nick?
All right. The first one we have on the list is Michael Ball. He was promoted into the Highway Fleet and Facilities Superintendent. And just for those who are new, the way that works is we have a policy that you guys approve that says if the department head comes forward, first an employee has to come forward with the interest in an opening. Department head would review that. Then we do a small interviews just saying, do you fit the position? And then they would be able to be promoted into that position. So Mike Ball's been with us on and off for 20 plus years. It's been a while. So he went to Worcester for a little while and then came back. But he's been a mechanic or with us for quite a few years now. He was an operator before that. So he started that position on 6/7/2026 with that promotion. That's all I had for new hires right now.
Resolution.
No, well, do you want me to go? I guess recruitments. So we had nobody's on this list as leaving us. We did have 2 resignations in the last week and a half. One of those is Megan Norris gave her notice, which is our corporation counsel. She'll be leaving July 31st. In the meantime, so what we're doing with that, and it'll be on the next one too. We'll talk more about it, but she's continuing to work the cases that she's currently working through Health and Human Services. She's working on some stuff for our meeting at 10:30. She's still working. She's still doing our general stuff. What we're doing is if a new case comes in with Health and Human Services, she'll do the immediate, like if there's paperwork needed, but then we're working with Bryce and his office, which we did in the interim the last time we had that vacancy, to cover those cases. Bryce has also done things in the past for us, like if we have an open records request question or some of the general. So we'll just use Bryce's office for about 80% of the backup. We also have used Courtney Groff out of Medford for child support. That's going to be a little bit more difficult going forward because she has been appointed as the new family court commissioner for us. So she hears all the family cases and child support. So she can't be doing the child support stuff. My understanding is her office that she has another staff that could assist in the short time. But we are working on backup for that. Even after Megan leaves, we could still potentially use her as an independent individual if there was like one case here or one case. Probably the hardest part about living in rural Wisconsin is not that there's not a lawyer around, it's that lawyers worked with those clients, so they have a conflict of interest. And if once you've been there guarding ad litem, or you've taken a case somewhere else for them or for the other side, it really narrows down the options. So we've done this before when our previous corp counsel left. We'll do it again here. We'll start recruiting as soon as possible. It is definitely cost effective to have internal for Health and Human Services. The other one that was on here and we'll talk about is an individual in behavioral health. So that'll be on the next one. Under recruitments, it's not on here, but we will start recruiting for that corp counsel position. That one's probably going to be a 9 to 12 month recruitment. That's what we saw the last time. It involves a lot of individuals. It's considered a department head, so we have to get like the board chair involved when we did get down to the actual, if we get some applications, we usually bring in an outside source. So last time we brought in Bryce on the interview group, we bring in different department heads. So it's a much bigger process than hiring a mechanic or a snowplow driver. Administrative assistant, child support. Last meeting we talked about, we had an individual leave there. We had somebody promoted. So we did get quite a few applications for that. We're interviewing 5 people later this month. Highway mechanic, that's open for recruitment. Behavioral health social worker, that's the 2 new positions that were approved last board meeting. So we're working on that. Part-time deputy sheriff, that we'll be recruiting for a full-time deputy sheriff. We've been made aware of another resignation over there, but it hasn't been official yet. So we know we need part-timers, but really we're looking for full-time deputies. Part-time corrections officers, again, ongoing. We always can use backup for those positions. And then substitute nutrition site manager. Yeah, so for those online, we have 2 new correction officers starting this week for part-time. So we're finding individuals, which is great. Biggest thing is we need to get some that eventually would either transition into full-time or long-time.
Okay, thanks, Dick. Resolution adopting revised Price County Employee Handbook, and we're dealing with inclement weather and smart glasses and other wearable recording devices. We talked about this at the last meeting.
So you need a motion and we can talk about.
Yeah,
Thank you of you.
I'll make that motion.
And I will second it.
okay.
All right, so based on that, so in front of you, there is the final redlined or red copy of the smart glasses and also the inclement weather. The smart glasses one, we did no changes from last meeting. There was nothing that you guys had seen at the last one to recommend it. If you saw anything in the meantime, there's still time to adjust. But again, that one's just getting something in writing. We may, based on what technology does in the future, we may have to come back and say, oh, we missed something, or, oh, this isn't what we thought it was, but it gets something in front of us. And it also reminds employees to just be cautious when, technology is great, but be careful when you're around personal protected information or sensitive documents. The inclement weather one, there was the update. It's in the second paragraph under decision to close. We added the county board chair may be part of the process if so desired. So instead of forcing the chair to be part of it, it would be, hey, board chair, we got stuff coming. You want to be part of it? They can say yep or nope. Obviously, they'd be part of the knowing it happened. But based on the comments at the last one, it was something that you guys wanted included, which is easy to do. It's, especially for weather. Hey, weather's coming up. Just be aware. If there was a power out, a natural gas leak stuff, I'm still going to call the board chair and say, hey, we're going to go through this process. You want to be part of it, or you good? And
I'll just interject here.
Yeah.
As board chair, I'd like just be a standing thing. I'd like to be included.
yep, and that's fine too. Yep. But we left it open. So if the next chair goes, don't call me at 5 a.m. to talk about this because I like sleeping, that's great too. Let me know afterwards.
Dennis, could I add something? Okay, so I do have the full employee handbook if you're interested in a PDF. It is quite big, so I didn't print it for everyone today.
Yeah, I've got
But-
a copy of it.
Yeah,
I got one.
I have one as well, but thank you, Meredith.
you're welcome.
Second part of this, so today we recommend these. They go to full board if they're approved. The process, so we don't have a great process for, in the past, we always sent out a whole new handbook and told employees, like, here's the new stuff. So actually, Laura and I were talking about this morning, and Jennifer chimed in towards the end, could she was doing something else, but came in. And what we plan on doing is when the board passes these, we will email all employees so they'll be aware that, hey, take these, print these off, put them in your handbook if you want to. We also have on everybody's desktop, there's a copy of the most recent handbook. So it gets pushed to everybody's desktop.
Mhm.
In that
Nice.
email, we'll say, this is what happens. We'll be letting people, department heads know at our leadership meeting. So what we're not going to have everybody sign off on a new handbook every time we do this, because I think over the next couple of years, we're going to be doing 2-3 at a time. And
Mhm.
it's a lot of paper and it's a lot of wasted time chasing down people. I believe if we tell everybody, here's the new ones, we have multiple ways that we communicated. They should be well aware of the new ones when it comes to if there was an issue. And then every year is it the first week in November, right? We do our health insurance meetings that are mandatory. So it's first or second week in November where we let employees know about the new health insurance, what it's going to be. It's mandatory. We'll hand out new handbooks then. So they'll get a clean copy every November rather than randomly. So
Yep.
we kind of want to put a process in place that, yep, throughout the year, you're going to be told there's new ones. We're going to push it out to you. You're going to get all these emails. However, you won't sign off on a new one. Doesn't mean you don't have to follow it when there's a new one, but that way there's just a sign off once a year. And then we can hand them out at that meeting. So it's everybody got it. We know everybody's there. So that'll be kind of our new process of organizing everybody getting it. Cause in the past we just been hodgepodge and then we chase people for a year trying to get them to sign off and we're already at the next one. So.
And the one that's on the desktop gives you version control of what is the latest and greatest.
Yep. And then we also have a SharePoint for those who are techie. So there's a SharePoint with all of our documents for HR that everybody has access to. So at any time, if an employee questions or has a question about the handbook, they should have access to the cleanest, newest copy.
On SharePoint. Okay.
Any further discussion?
I'm satisfied.
Hearing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's carried. Do you have a copy to sign?
Yes.
Here,
Well, the copies coming around, we have a list of the policies that we want to start going through one at a time just to clarify them. So my intent is at the next couple meetings, we'll just bring 2 or 3 forward each time. There shouldn't be any, we have one brand new one that we're talking about next time, which is pets in the workplace. Again, not a problem here, but we're starting to see it throughout the state that people go, there's no policy, so I can.
I
So we want to
know.
put something in place. So that would be a brand new one. And then we want to update the AI one that's on our short list. And then we'll slowly go through and just clean stuff up. So you'll start to see them. It'll take, like, I figure each one should take 2 to 3 meetings, right? You introduce it. The next one we discuss it. The third one we approve it. So every time we bring something forward, it should take that process.
That process. All signed.
Start that again. I don't think anybody heard you online.
Oh,
No.
okay. Number 5 on the agenda is the procedure for setting future elected wages.
So we talked about this during that process, which was last November, and then we brought it up, I think, in February, and now we brought it up last meeting. So
Mhm.
this meeting, it's one of those where after all the discussion, here's the process we used, and here's what we would like to try to use in the future. This one to me isn't like a resolution. It's nothing. It's just more of you guys accepting this as a process. I would say in the future, say this works really well this November, because we'll be going through it for who has to be established this year. Anybody? I think this is our year off.
I was
So
gonna say,
next
I thought we got
November,
them.
we would have to do the clerk and the treasurer.
Again? Okay.
Yeah, it's every,
Sure.
yeah, so 2027. So 2026, we would do this. It's under number 2. So
Okay. Got it.
during 26 I don't know. Either way, we'll go through it once without putting this in stone somewhere. I think there should be a motion to use this and forward to the board for there to review. But then the board would just kind of say, yep, this is the process we want to use. In the future, I would like to see if it works really well, like this is what you guys like, is in your handbook. So your supervisor manual, we put this in there as this is the process you guys approve every time you approve that handbook to set your wages, or not your wages, but the elected's wages. So
Absolutely.
today we don't, it's just more of a, you agree on this verbiage, get it in front of the board so that they can also review it and eventually agree upon it so that when the next process comes, we have something in place.
Sure.
Do you need a motion for that?
Yes.
Okay, I'd make a motion to accept the procedure for setting future elected wages and accept it as a process
And forward it to the full
and
board.
forward it to the full board.
And I will second that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion?
There's just one, I think, one typo, which is on the very end, under resolutions for sheriff clerk. I think it's supposed to be 1210 versus 2110.
Oh, yeah. I do that.
Sorry, I was just reading through it last night, and I that's when I came across.
Yep. So yeah, on fifth to the or fourth to the last line, resolution sheriff clerk courts 0722. It should
Good
be
catch on there.
12 of 2010, I'm assuming.
maybe it might just be out of order too. It could be 02 of 18. Because that would. Oh no.
I see.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, 12 of 2014. And
No,
then
it-
12 of
Okay.
2010.
No, so it's probably correct because the first number is the resolution that you did that year.
Oh,
So that would be
21.
like the seventh resolution of
Got it.
2022, the second resolution of 2018, the 12th of 2014, the 21st of 2010. So I'll
Okay.
double check it,
Yeah,
but
I was just going by
yeah.
months, that's all.
yep, because the next one's 02 of 20. So it was done early in
Mhm.
that year also. But I will double check. Those were more for reference, but
Yeah,
yeah.
it just didn't make sense to me. And I thought, well, if somebody else is going to question it, so I might as well bring it up now.
All those in favor?
I,
Opposed? Motion is carried. Cisco dependent eligibility for health plan coverage audit.
Yeah, we wanted to bring this to the committee, not for decision making, anything like that. So part of our being independent, what are we? Self-insured health insurance. So what that means is we pay ourselves, we put a pool of money aside, bills go through a third party, and then they charge us for them. So that's in the long run, you can manage your health insurance much differently when you're self-insured. Recently, the school went to self-insured. What you see is you can calm the curve, right? If you have a really bad year, the Security Health of the world or whoever your insurance provider doesn't go, whoops, we had a 120% loss ratio, which means we spent 20% more than what you gave us. We're going to make that up over the next year. So now we're going to go up 20 or 35% because we are allowed to make 15% on the money. So really the goal is 0.85 instead of 1. So 0.85 so that they make their money and they cover all your costs. We do that internally now. So we don't need to have a 0.85. We can have a 0.95 or a 1, and we've paid ourselves. It's cheaper. We're not paying all these fees, all the things. So part of making sure you have a good handle on your insurance is understanding your users. And what I mean by that is we're doing this audit we're going to do it probably every 5 years, but it'll be 3 to 5 years, but it'll be kept up throughout. And what it is all employees will have to verify their dependents and themselves. So for myself, what'll happen is I'll get an email and a letter saying, hey, Nick, we're going through this. You're on the health insurance. We need to make sure that all your dependents are properly covered on this health insurance. So I will have to produce a birth certificate for my children and a marriage certificate for my spouse. So then it's on file. It says, cool, you are eligible. 5 years from now, or 3 years, whenever we have to do this again, it's a recurring thing. They'll say, Nick, you have to produce this. And maybe during that time, I went through a divorce. And under divorce, we don't cover that individual, even if the court says that in the divorce decree, you must cover the spouse. You don't cover them through ours because you have to be married in order to be on ours. So that's an independent pay. You have to go out in Cobra. You have to,
Mhm.
whatever it might be there. So what this does is catch those who shouldn't be on your insurance, or just verifies who should be. So you know that everything's clean and good.
And somebody may have a supplement insurance too, that
Yep. So yeah, if you're other coverage, things like that, just making sure everything's above the process in a good standing. We did have in the past where an individual was covering, well, it was probably happened more than once, but we know of one that was covering a significant other and they were not legally married. And so that was caught by happenstance and it wasn't caught through this process. But it's just, we wanted to let you know, we want employees to understand that this isn't trying to catch people. It's just making sure we're in line with what we're saying our health insurance is and available. It doesn't collect data on, you know, your current health or something like that. It gives us other ways to review what our plan should be. So, for example, we get a lot of requests to do employee plus one. Right now, because we don't know, we know generally the stats, but we don't know a good dependent stat, you know, we can dig in more with this. But when we look at employee plus one, our concern when we look at it every year is employee plus one. So say Nick's kids were off and gone and I just have my spouse. Yeah, it's going to be way cheaper for me to do employee plus one because that's just the demographics and how you usually charge that out. The problem is we have enough people that would go to employee plus one that the family plan would go up by like 30 or 40%. And so right now, yep, employee plus one is supplementing or reducing the cost of all of it. You know, it's bringing everybody to the middle rather than separating it, making this big gap. And so we want to make sure that that's the right thing. You know, if we get this data, we might find out, oh, wait, it makes sense to do an employee plus one. It'll just be a higher cost. It'll be at this rate. And so, yeah, you can save 10%. It's just more to get us data on our
I know how many
usage.
covered lives you have in the pool.
Yeah, and we know like how many belly buttons, but are they the right belly buttons? Did someone go through a divorce and you're covering them wrong, or did you know, they're off on their own and they have their own insurance at a place? You know, is that covered? You know, are we first or second on the coverage? We can't force anybody off. So if you're 65 and still on ours, we can't say go take Medicare, Medicaid, whatever it might be. You know, we just can educate and say, here's what you're paying, and are you sure that's the best option? We have a third party that would talk to them.
Sure.
Some of the things that employees should be aware of that until they fill out this paperwork, the claims won't be paid. So once this process starts, which is going to be happening in the next month, I recommend employees get their stuff back quite quickly. What was I going to say? It's about a 95% return rate real quick. And then you're chasing down the last 5% is kind of their average.
Mr. Chair, may I comment?
Yes.
So is this something that we're hiring an outside consultant to do?
Yeah. So it's through our CNB, our broker. They charge
Is
it's
that
like a couple bucks a head to just
part of the
go through.
program originally, or is it something you're kind of requesting to add?
It's part of I'm not requesting to add it because it's part of the health insurance coverage. Like, so through CMB, they recommend, here's how you can save a whole bunch of money, or here's how you can
Right,
do
no,
whatever.
I understand
Yeah.
what they're doing, but these are the professional, I mean, it's not
Yeah.
something our HR can do.
No.
Well, I know you'd say that.
No, yes. A little bit we will read. So once this main one's done, like going forward, every new employee, we're going to
So
request all this stuff.
When being self-insured was approved, this was part of the plan. It's just getting enacted now because
Yeah.
we've gone through it for like, what is this, third
This is
year?
our second year. Yeah.
In
We're
our
going on
third
our
year?
third year. So it's all the little things. Like we got the nearside clinic. It's
So-
making sure we have, so for example, we have a lot of little programs in the background that you guys don't know about it's part of this being self-insured, because normally other insurance companies would, or when you're fully insured, you'd have access to some of this stuff like this. This would be done by that fully insured group.
So is this included in what we pay the broker and they make the arrangements, or are you doing it independent of the broker and they're sent this company that's going to do this is sending us the bill.
Yep. So we get a bill. So we have our broker, we pay a flat fee now. We used to pay a percentage of our stop loss, but our stop loss has been going up quite a bit. And so we negotiate with the broker they don't get the same raise our stop loss does. They get a flat fee. So it's like having another employee, but really it's 10 employees because they have all different specialties you use it. So we have our broker. Things like this, we pay per head. So like, for example, the broker comes and says, do you guys want to offer one program we do, we've been doing since our second year is FedLogic. So what FedLogic is it's a third party. We pay $1.25 a head per, person on our thing per year. So you get a bill for $6,000. We put that towards like our health insurance. We don't pay outside. So, I pay my premium and the county pays a premium. It all goes into a pool of money. That pool of money is to do all these programs and pay for the claims. So like for FedLogic, what their goal is to check to see if there's other programs that an individual would qualify. So for example, when my last child was born, it was a premature baby. They were in the NICU. I use FedLogic. I called them and say, hey, what programs are available federally to help with this situation, whether it's travel expenses, whether it's, hey, they get off of our insurance for a short time and the feds cover it because it's a NICU, so it reduce our costs. I didn't qualify because my child was only in there for 2 weeks. It has to be 3 weeks. We've had individuals use FedLogic to, they had a long-standing illness that was it was very, very, very expensive on ours, but FedLogic worked with them and gets them off of our insurance onto a federal program. So we pay $1 a head. So this one we pay, I can't remember, it's like $2 a head the first time. And then it was like, yeah, we'd have to look up. Then it's like 80 cents a head. It gets reduced. I don't know the cost offhand, but it's that insurance for us in the background that we're paying per user. So I pay my premium, you pay my premium. A little bit of that comes out to this program.
Okay. It sounds like it'd pay for itself if it
Yep,
catches
that's the
probably
goal
one
on all
person.
these. Yeah.
But this was included when we first approved it. It was something that you were aware of at least.
Yeah, we were aware of these programs and knew it
Okay,
was
I'm
coming.
just
Yeah,
wondering
this
if
wasn't like, our
This isn't
broker-
an added cost that we weren't aware of that was going to come down the road.
No, so what it is like we have a pool of money at the end, right? So we collect $2 million a year to do our health insurance. We work with our broker to say, what's the best way to save extra money? And this program's supposed to pay for itself. Like if you catch one individual that's not supposed to be on your plan, you save $30,000 and it costs you 6 or 8 to do it.
Okay.
And then so it's not like our broker came
Well,
like, surprise,
see,
you
that-
have to do this.
In my
Yeah.
mind, that clears it up a little more
Yeah.
detail.
Yeah. So like, it's not a surprise that the broker, there's a list of all these programs that the broker says we recommend, and 9 times out of 10, I go, as our group, we meet and say, this doesn't fit in our budget or the savings don't outweigh the cost. So the FedLogic, so theirs is weird. It's a guarantee that they'll save you. Yeah, this Cisco one, they on average save you money. They can't guarantee you anything. The Tailored Family Clinic, right? That's a lot out of pocket, but we know we're saving a ton on that. We have the Better Health, or no, which one? Help is the head. The Health. Better Health is our wellness program. So we pay not outside. We pay within our health insurance for that. But what we saw on that was a reduction in our meds. So we saved, for every dollar we spent on that, we saved something.
So is this Cisco per head too?
Yeah, it's a couple bucks per head the first time, and then it's like 85 cents for maintenance long
Okay.
run.
Well,
Yep.
that sounds reasonable.
Yeah, it's not like 100,000.
Unless, they don't catch anybody, then
Then it's
but
like
that's
the-
still,
But
I
that
think it's
tells
a
us
good
that
idea.
our staff's doing a great job managing it. We have very honest employees because they're making sure they understand their health insurance. So there's positive that could come out of it.
well, it sounds like if one person is caught, it'll cover the costs of
Yeah.
more than 1 year.
Oh yeah, and catching somebody is not meant to be like you're a bad catch. It's where they catch the most people are divorce decrees.
People think they're doing the right thing, but they have to cover that, they just can't do that. They have to go out to the marketplace.
They have to, yeah. So like a divorce decree says you have to cover your X. Well, the programs don't cover the X. You have to go out and get a third party or pay them through their employer to do that. You're going to catch like dependents who are aged out or non-biological, non-adopted or biological dependents. So like if I just put a random social security number on mine and say, oh yeah, that neighbor kid's mine. Not that that's how it works, but if you don't have the legal standing, so like you're living with someone that has children and you say, oh, they're my children, unless they're legally your children, we can't cover them. So it's, those are the things, and we'll help employees once we find out. It's not like kick you off. And what we want to do is make sure somebody doesn't go through a major catastrophe. Like, so the one that we caught back a while ago, they were in the middle of having a child. If that would have went through the whole process, the county insurance paid the $40,000 in all the birthing costs and all that. And then 6 months later, they found out they shouldn't have it. That's all out of pocket. So part of this is catch it, help them get on to whatever they need to get on. So there is proper coverage. It's not trying to catch.
One last question. If somebody's caught and we paid out a bunch of money, is there any recourse to get any of it back?
That's through our broker or through the insurance WPS and the broker. That would be something we have to look into. But yeah, if it was, yeah, if they had something and they weren't supposed to be covered, there would be a back. Yeah, we would look at it. Some legally you probably could, some legally you probably can't. Let's hope that doesn't happen for our employees. Yeah.
Anything else on the insurance?
No, otherwise, generally insurance, this year we're doing well. We've collected, I think it was 250,000 more than what we've had in payouts so far, which is, knock on wood, one of our better years.
That can change in 1 month.
Yeah, we only have one individual. We only have one individual that has hit half of the stop loss, so $60,000 or more. At this point in the year, that's better than normal. Last year we had 5 individuals hit the total stop loss, which is 100. It was 105. It's 120 now. I think it was 105 last year. 100. So we upped that because. So how our stop loss works is we have another insurance on top of insurance that says if any employee hits 100,000 last year, any employee hits $100,000 or more, it's 100% paid for by this third party. We get reimbursed. Last year we had 5 individuals hit that. It's the most we've had. We usually average 3 individuals, but that insurance alone costs about $800,000 a year. So that's our largest cost to our insurance, is to insure ourselves. There's also an aggregate coverage on that. So it's everybody all together. Can't cost you more than $3 million, which would be $600,000 more than we're collecting, which then it kicks in. So the worst case scenario, we'd have about a $600,000 loss. Again, knock on wood, we haven't done it. So the way last year our stop loss came in and said, okay, you're at 100,000, you had 5, you had history of 3, 4, whatever it was, we're going to up it by, I think it was like 26% or it was like 30%. We had this big renewal. So we worked with our broker and said, what's our options? And they said to go, if we, instead of 100,000, we go to 120,000, we'd save $100,000. So round numbers, again, 850 was our stop loss last year. They wanted to go up to 950. We said, what happens is we'll up it. We'll take the risk. We'll take the gamble of $20,000 more per individual if they hit that max. Then we saved 100,000. So we went back to the 850. What's going to happen if we only have one person hit 120,000? We won, right? We're $80,000 in the good. If we have 2, we're still 60,000. If we have 3, worst case scenario, if we have 5, we would have paid what we would have. If we have 6, we're ahead. So it's a gamble every year that you put out there. What we need this year is a good year, or we hope for a good year. We'll be on 3 years of self-insured by the time we go out to bid it this year. And so the reason that it's so high is we only had 1 bidder last time because we had no data. They don't know if you're going to have 14 of them or 4 of them. So they put you at a rate and then it is. So this year, when we bid it out, we'll be able to go to more parties and say, here's 3 years worth of data, because we have our own data now. We couldn't get it before as easily or as much as we could. So we own our data now, and we can go to that third party. And when I say we own the data, I can't see any of the names or anything like that. Everybody's a number, so people don't think we're looking at them. But we'll go out to a party or all these vendors and say, we need stop loss insurance. Here's our data. Where are you going to? And so there'll be a competitive bid process. So hopefully this year will be a good year for stop loss. But yeah, we had to take that gamble of let's go up 20,000. For example, we are very high on our stop loss. I can't remember. I think it was the school I was talking about. They have a $50,000 stop loss, and they don't pay what we pay for 120, just because we've had a history of high cost and that type of thing. So yeah, we've had a lot. We've had a extremely high cost one over the years. That one's no longer here, but on average, it was $600,000 a year in claims. And it was guaranteed because it was a long-term illness. That adds up, right? You're guaranteed stop loss, and that stop loss is going to say, dang it, it's going to cost me $500,000 because it was over 100.
Sure.
There's a lot into insurance. It's not a, hey, there's one off the shelf. Let's take it.
Especially self-insurance.
Okay, I'm not gonna ask if there's anything else.
I had to make the meeting more than 10 minutes.
Good call, Dennis.
We can, hey, I love letting you guys know what we're doing because then people know, and it's a public, it's transparent. We're working through a lot of issues every day.
We appreciate it.
Yes.
Okay, the next meeting date scheduled for July the 14th, but unless there is some reason we have to have that meeting, I'd like to cancel that meeting.
Sure.
And we'll go to August 11th would be the next meeting date.
Typically, the way we've been doing is leaving it on the schedule and
But knowing that you're, yeah.
then knowing that it's going to be canceled.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So it'll be on the schedule until we start
well, you
looking
can
at
have it, I
agenda.
just won't be here.
Yeah. What Brian's saying is we don't want to cancel it today. We'll leave it on the schedule. Emergency case,
Right.
cool, we'll have it. But
Absolutely.
most likely, yeah, most likely you'll get an email 3 weeks out, 2 weeks out saying the chair is canceled.
It's easier to cancel than reschedule.
Yeah.
Yep.
So August 11th would be the next meeting date. Unless there's something else, I will adjourn the meeting.
Okay.